Hey, welcome back. It's the Exponential Files. We are a show dedicated to letting you know what exactly is going on in the real estate business and with EXP, the most revolutionary new platform for anybody in real estate. We are so lucky to have the president of EXP Commercial with us, James Huang. Hey, James, how you doing? Thanks so much for being with us. Oh, by the way, Jim always wants me to say his name. That's James Lowenstern, and I'm Larry Lawfer. Everybody knows this is the Exponential Files. Hey, Jim, how you feeling
Hey,
today, Jim?
hey, Larry. Thank you.
So,
Let's go to James.
yeah, yeah, to James, no waiting. James, talk a little bit about how revolutionary the EXP commercial group is right now.
Larry and Jim, thank you for having me on the show, and sharing. It is extremely revolutionary because I think watching the way EXP grew from when Glenn Sanford kind of said there must be a better way with the brick and mortar being the top agent and watching the changes in the market, creating this fantastic platform. But of course, we always say overnight success. It didn't just happen overnight, right? It took a while, took a lot of challenges, but almost 4 or 5 years ago, it got traction. It really grew to a point where it is really a household name now. But when we looked at it, why couldn't it happen in commercial, right? From the way to attract, being agent centric. So, you know what? About 2 years ago, I was brought on over to layer EXP commercial, build a commercial part of the company with this revolutionary virtual platform and being an agent centric platform. And of course, it always takes time. Just being 2 years in the business, 2 full years, we had to build proof of concept, getting all the nuts and bolts, the websites, the states, right? Because we're corporate, not franchise, and we're publicly traded. So there's other details. Year one, we had to build that momentum. But even in year one, we were the fastest growing commercial by agent count, growing to 604 commercial agents in 1 year. And because we're not part of residential, we're a separate company, it could be shown in the commercial part of the company. We did that. Year
Wow.
two, right? How we're growing was very exciting because even with this growth and the pivot, as we all know, in 2022, we had that interest rate spike, but also that helped EXP commercial because EXP, from when Glenn built the company, was built on a change of the market. Well, we're
Right.
coming into that change of the market again. So with COVID, being virtual helped us. With the higher interest rates, with the inflation, it also helped us grow. So now people are actually looking at EXP commercial, and more, I always say, pedigree senior commercial brokers from the big companies are actually very seriously taking a look at our company. Not only are we fast growing, now we're growing in so many verticals, growing now with our baby step into international, with adding some commercial tools into Canada. I mean, this is a platform where I tell most people, if you thought you missed the boat at EXP Realty, be a part of EXP Commercial because we're just taking off. The rocket ship is ready to launch. Come on board with us.
So, James, if you had to name one game-changing tool, or name several, you can name as many as you want. The approach to commercial brokerage with EXP Commercial has offered commercial brokers. What would that game-changing tool or tools be?
Yeah, so many of the tools, as we know, commercial is very archaic, old school, as everyone calls it. Oh, it's the old school way, mostly because they don't embrace technology.
Right.
With our metaverse, like how we're communicating now, Zoom or Google Meets or others, you have to use these ways of
Yeah.
doing business. We're all
Yeah.
talking about remote working, hybrid working now. We're not all going into the office. So one thing about EXP and EXP commercial, we embrace technology. We just don't use technology. We're in technology. Technology is in our blood, but we're making it more efficient. We're putting it all together. And I would say using the adoption of technology, love of technology for EXP, we're vertically integrating all these different tech best practices that were done in commercial, less silos, less isolation in certain areas and product type to open it up where as many people through technology can interact, see, learn, communicate, network, collaborate, do deals together. And isn't that what it's all about?
Yeah.
Because the old school way is keeping you in a silo, keeping you in a box. So there's control. Our thing is being transparent, being open, and more eyeballs, more collaboration creates more opportunities.
Well, that is clearly true across the board with EXP versus any of the other brands that I've been with in the past, that people are willing to help because everybody benefits from that. Now, every single agency says they have the best tools. Everyone does. We're the best at educating you. They all do. A lot of it don't. Plunking somebody in front of a video is not education. It's not. Education is when you're interacting with people and they're interacting with you. And they've come back and they come back and they come back. And I think that's what EXP through Workplace, through the meta world has revolutionized the market. And I'm sure it is with the commercial market as well.
Absolutely, Larry. One of the things is we do the technology, and you, as we all know, with the client, how many times do we touch them? You have to find Workplace through Verbella, through Zoom, with some live events, with other events. You keep putting as many different ways of connecting because everyone connects and does business differently, but you give them so much options, so many ways to connect that you cannot not plug in. It's almost like what we always say, right? In the realty, you cannot not unsee this. Once you see it, you see it. You can't unsee it. And it
Yeah.
is incredible because we keep evolving. And just like you were saying, we are always advancing, improving. It's okay to make mistakes. We all make mistakes. Learn from it, move on, get better. And then rinse and repeat. And that's what you keep doing, fine tuning whatever we're doing. But this is the best thing, building the culture. Like you were saying, like, I'm here to help Glenn, Michael, Jeff, Leo, Jason Gessie, just Jeff Whiteside, anyone and everyone in our company is accessible and wants to help because we are that one big company, not
Right.
franchise, publicly traded. We are all owners here.
Right.
James,
And
so I'm sorry, like EXP residentials in 24 countries, give or take one. I think Dubai is still opening up. Is EXP commercial in all those countries as well? Can you talk about the expansion internationally?
Yeah. So right now we're in all 50 states in the U.S., building the big credibility, building the vertical services, which I'm really excited for year 3, capital markets, asset facility management, valuation, and other corporate services from site location, ground up construction, advice, right? With the raw land, entitlements, broken projects. I mean, that's the exciting thing. So in the US, we hope by the end of this year to be called full service commercial real estate. And as I mentioned, we're dipping our toes into Canada, adding the commercial tools, adding the connectivity with the base of the US with all this opportunities, capital, finance, knowledge, so we can help Canada and then I hope to Mexico. But right now with baby steps with tools, we are building strategic partnerships globally, not growing brokerage, but partnerships so they can use our technology to send us leads and referrals. Everyone still, as the world's opening up again, finding opportunities, looking for opportunities in the US. But us, many times they do want some US money going external, but we see a great amount of opportunities around the world looking for opportunities in the US again. So right now, not on the brokerage end, but we're connecting through technology to communicate, to build best practices and friendships and relationships around the world so we can create these opportunities, whether you're at one company or one product type or one service. With EXP Commercial, we're collaborating, we're connecting, we're splitting deals together to one day when Michael and Global and the executives and leadership says, you know what, let's make another step. But we're doing these methodical steps, not just growing fast, growing right, growing smart. First in Canada, hopefully then in Mexico, North America covered. Supply chain, as we keep talking about it in the US, is going to Mexico. And these conversations we're already involved in. So we can bring it back when we one day decide
right.
we want to open that country for commercial. So right now, baby steps, but we're opening the technology so you can communicate, collaborate with us.
Speaking of technology, I see you're using a QR code. And where does that QR code take us?
Thank you, Larry, for asking. With this QR code, you can learn everything you need to know about eXp Commercial, get you plugged in, learn about our Thursdays eXp Commercial Explained. Every month, we do an comprehensive introduction to commercial real estate, teaching you the latest and greatest tools, technology. We were just talking about, taxonics, which is a property tax reassessment. As what we want to do is get in front of people to show, you could do what you're doing, but you should pivot and adjust your business in a changing market to create another opportunity. And we think every time a recession happens, property management does better, capital markets does better as you have to recapitalize your property. You also want to know about property tax reassessment. You're paying too much in taxes. A lot of times your lease rates, property values have gone down. You need to find another way to help your client. If you, like what Glenn said, like if you help enough people, you're going to get what you want. You help your clients, you're going to get deals, commissions, and things later, but help them through this difficult time. So it is important to throw as many events internally and externally to really share what we're working on in eXp Commercial, our culture, collaboration, the new tools, the new ideas that we are, because of, we're a tech-based company. We don't mind being a little progressive and out there and learn from everything, because we want to go fast and let people adopt so we can create these opportunities. And we're open to everyone. And we hope if you see all these beautiful, great things we're doing and the culture, and we're always smiling and having fun, right? You got to have fun. People say, why are they smiling so much? Something's going on over there, like eXp Realty and Global and Commercial. We're all smiling. We're having a good time. It doesn't mean it's not hard, but we're still having a good time over here.
So has EXP Commercial broken 1,000 agents yet? Do you have an agent count?
Yeah, so we're around 800. So one thing
Okay.
about the commercial agents is a lot of times there were new agents, but more and more the 80-20 rule. But for me, I want the 75-25 rule. 75 senior agents, pedigree commercial agents, producing agents that usually do 250 plus or minus GCI, and then the new agents that want to learn. But we are helping our realty brothers and sisters plug in to our technology, plugging into our corresponding training, plugging in to our mentorship coaching so they can get better while they're learning, still doing their realty work or other deals. They don't want to come full time. But we realize it wasn't so much on the agent count. It's productivity, strength of the agents, quality of the agents, but using that to bring larger dollars, but also help our brothers and sisters on realty, because we do cost more in commercial. And that's why it's not so easy for somebody new to come into the commercial part of the business, because it does cost 250, 80-20, capping at 20,000, which is unheard of in true commercial real estate. They don't have a 20%, a $20,000 cap. With all the bells and whistles and all the tools, that's why it helps. So to us, there's a difference that it's not about agent count, it's quality of agent count. And most people in the commercial real estate world and the trade groups all say, what are you guys doing there? Because we're capturing market share. We're getting the bigger brokers. The people are coming over of high quality. Many of our agents are coming, are leaders in their local, regional, national, international associations for commercial real estate.
Right. And I think the whole aspect of being collaborative is far more important. And commercial real estate, I've had it. One of my best friends is a commercial realtor. He said there are no rules. Everybody, it's dog eat dog, and that is different at EXP. You don't have to be looking over your shoulder. You have to be looking forward and getting ready to do the next thing. Now, your background wasn't necessarily real estate, but you've always been involved in investments, and you have a whole background of coming up through real estate investments and real estate. Could you talk about your origin story just a little bit?
Sure. Of course, everyone studied biochem. So there's only one
Not
thing you're going to
everyone,
do
by
with
the way,
biochem.
not everyone.
There's only one thing with biochem, but you're a STEM, right? So you learn analytical skills, and to go to banking and finance was just the easy way with Wall Street, working with one of the Wall Street wirehouses. Very privileged to be there to get into their program. And then moving on to when it was Morgan Stanley into portfolio management. And then coming back into California, it was important because I got to work under a legend when it comes to the tenant in common. So I worked under the largest tenant in common company, but that's how you learned how to syndicate, put deals together, manage property, all sorts of good stuff. So I worked under the CEO, learned that skill set. But while I was there learning, I was like, wait a minute, there's this company out there, Marcus and Millichap. I have to say that it's a great company to learn from. They say it's one of the best learning in the industry, and many of the leaders do come out of Marcus. So from there, learning from Marcus, as hard as it was, and also, like you said, challenging, looking over your back, protecting your paperwork, protecting your deals. But I'll tell you this, the learning lesson to be on it, working hard, got to get in the office at 7:30 in the morning. You usually do not leave year one till 9 p.m. So these are our days, 7:30 in the office, 9 p.m. at night is until we leave. We do work about 6 days a week. Sundays, working on our calendars. We do this 1 year straight, nonstop. We do make about 200 to 300 calls a day. So, going through that process, the accountability, the workshops, right? All the stuff, made us really strong. And we always said that at Marcus, 7 out of 100 make it first year.
Right.
And then after that, 50% make it from 3 to 5 years. So that number even gets cut in half. So, the attrition rate to make a very strong commercial agent does take a long time. But I did go to Marcus, was there about 5 years before I formed my first company, BRC Advisors, still around. My partners are running it. At first, because we're building the right culture, many people started joining our company. We just wanted to get a bunch of friends and agents to work together to do deals, right? I mean, you want to be around your friends. If you're going to share deals, collaborate, cooperate, share misery with, you share it with your friends, right? Even successes. But because we had a great culture, a great family group environment like EXP, we started growing very rapidly. So much to a point, I couldn't do brokerage. I couldn't do syndication. I couldn't do everything, but I was managing the 180 commercial brokers we had at BRC. And then going through the 2009 recession. So I said I was always a wartime general. I was retired, and in 2009, I wasn't, and I had to learn how to get through it. But I also learned humility and being humble. Because what I did too, and learning from the EXP model, I saved my ego. I saved my brokerage when I should have took my dry powder, and I should have bought single family homes.
Right.
I should have bought all of the single family homes unlevered where they were below replacement cost. That's what I should have done. But no, save my ego, lesson learned. But from these processes, it keeps you grounded. It gives you a better compass of where to go, direction, right? Giving back, helping others. Money's great, but good enough. I always say I'm happy all the time, good enough. I want to help others. And, going through the recession, last recession, it showed me that I wanted to add more women, underserved communities to get into commercial, rural America in the Midwest. You don't have to be a pedigree. You didn't have to go through a certain Ivy League or certain school. Anyone can learn this business. And that was the old school where you had to be invited. You came to a certain school to be invited into commercial real estate. Here, there's an opportunity to open up to everyone that wants to learn commercial real estate. And the next step is I got to work with another legend in the industry. He ran one of the top 10 franchise firms. I learned directly again from the master, trying to put these puzzle pieces, but then coming over to EXP Commercial, they gave me an offer. I always say I can't refuse for my Italian family. They gave me an offer I couldn't refuse. So I said, okay. But what I wanted to do is I didn't want to just run brokerage. I needed to run the services because that's why in commercial real estate, like residential a little bit, you needed to run all the services to be called full service commercial real estate, which is some of the terminology people use in commercial is full service. And then multinational full service, right? Which is the big firms, CBRE, JLL, Colliers, Frank Knight, right? Those are the full service multinational. And you always want to think big, go big, grow big, like what Glenn and the team has done, going as big as you can. And that's what we want to do one day, is to be that multinational full service commercial real estate. And we're on the right track. Larry and Jim, this is the fun ride, and it's fun with the journey, with the right compatriots and friends. There's always bumps in the way, we know, but keeping your eye on the prize and the why of opening up this new way of doing commercial real estate, creating opportunities for more people to join, younger people, women, underserved, middle America, to learn this secret sauce, how to do it with our virtual world is to make a better world, because if we open this up, everyone can learn, tap into capital markets, tap
Right.
into things you don't know to help your local community.
So James, I recruit a couple agents a month, few agents a month, whatever, and I'm starting to bring on agents that are very interested in commercial. Some are already in it, but they want to start off on the residential side and then move into EXP commercial because of the monthly fee differential. Um, as I speak to agents that are already doing commercial, besides the cap and the revenue share and the stock awards and all the things that EXP Realty has, what are the benefits that I can communicate to commercial brokers that have already been doing it, some of them for decades?
Yep.
Well, what are the advantages?
So we always say, one, you're not making a lateral 80-20 capping at 20 with all the technology tools, and we're constantly innovating the tools. The next is what we have is our training platform. We from new agent training, which we offer to EXP realty agents to learn the business, right? We always say diversify your business right now, as you don't want to have idle hands. This is a time of learning and connecting, is to learn new approaches, learn how you can do other businesses so you don't have to say no to your client, but yes, and you connect, right? So we have this whole training program. The next, again, with the technology, we're doing a fully integrated off market, on market, needs and wants, connecting with different sponsors so you can plug in to create these deals where people will start reaching out to you to say, I can help you on the capital market. I can help you on the property management. I can help you to do a property tax reassessment. I can help you with your property casualty insurance. You're paying too much. I can help you manage your property. I can help you repivot. I can help you find, right? So through technology and being part of not only the 800 commercial, but the 87,000 residential agents is giving this access so everyone's communicating and using technology. You can plug in the information, but because of our economies of scale, Live Oak Bank, one of the largest business banks out there, $2 billion in production. Greystone, which we're signing up right now. They're the largest the Freddie, Fannie, multifamily, and single family portfolio lenders, right? CW Capital, one of the largest asset management for commercial real estate. I mean, on and on and on. We're bringing it all in, bringing the price down, connecting it in. So there's more speed of ways you can produce, right? But because of that, we have such good seniors and people joining, and the residential referrals, leads. You can do what you do. And we all know right now the market is slowing down. Why wouldn't you want another opportunity to get leads, referrals, better agents coming, different suppliers, different services wanting to plug in? Because in those companies, you got to pass it to the capital markets group. You got to pass it to the tenant rep group. You got to pass it to somebody else. And maybe you get a little piece. Maybe you get nothing, but you're forced to pass it on. Here, you get to participate. You get to make the money. And I'll tell you, most people here make 80-20 capping at 20. This is the great thing about collaboration. Because most people are at 100%, they can be generous. They can
Yeah.
help the new agents do deals. They can collaborate and stay in your lane of your expertise. But when you're in a 50-50 house or even 60-40, you have to get everything to just
And
survive.
that's pretty standard with
Pretty
commercial.
standard. With the
Right.
big brokers, it's standard. Yep.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that you said, James, was especially in your origin story, that you had many opportunities to work with some of the best people and you learned from them. And so that moved you over to EXP and EXP Commercial. And I think people who are new to this company, people who aren't in this company right now, need to know that you come into this company, there's going to be people who want to help you, who are happy to answer questions, who are willing to share their deepest secrets, because there are no secrets in real estate. By the way, there are no secrets. There are people who do it better and not, but there are no secrets. So you want to be in a place where people like James and Jim and sometimes even me are really helpful to you.
Well, exactly right. You know what it is? There is no secrets. What there is relationships.
Right.
People have better relationships with others. And if we're a family here working together, and you're using other people's relationship in a good way, it opens doors, it gets deals done faster. There's no secrets. Everyone knows you work hard, but it takes time to build relationships.
Yeah.
Once you have all these relationships in one company, knowing the good leaders, and this is my job to empower servant leaders, people that want to give, people that think abundance, working with them, empowering them, protecting them so they can keep sharing. And we know what's going to happen when that happens. It's a multiple effects, right? I always say from the military, force multiplier. You plug in, you multiply good people. My job is making sure we have the givers, not the takers, the
Right.
people that want to pour into others. That's my
Right.
job, is to be the traffic cop, making sure people are going and flowing the right way and keeping those that want to give and serve in the right places to keep going,
Right.
and keeping everyone optimistic, positive, but realistic, right? I don't want people to be, falling on their face and having, false hopes. I want to give a realistic hope. As long as you work hard, you're
Right.
going to get something. And because there's so many leads, our good senior agents are actually passing leads to give new agents that momentum to
Right.
really get started, giving them that excitement. I got a deal. I got something to work on. The worst is I'm having nothing to work on, cold calling all day long and very disheartening, right? But if you have something to work on, I'm calling on my listing. I'm calling on my deal. Very
Right.
exciting.
Right.
Well, that's interesting because I didn't even think about this. So with EXP, the residential side, EXP Realty, all the agents are given a KV Core, basic KV Core and CRM website combo. What are the agents getting on the commercial side? Is it also KV Core, or is it something totally different?
Totally different, and we're building different mechanisms and technology. So it would be like with Brevitas, RealNext, Build Out, Reonomy, Data Studio, Nobi, our different LMS platforms. But we're tying it together. We're looking at Delius. We're looking at so many tech tools, because remember, commercial is not a one size fit all. There's a
Right.
transaction, there's a leasing, there's a business
Right.
opportunity, which is growing really quick for us running business brokerage. But in the transaction, there's multifamily, which is the easiest one to learn from realty. Then there's retail. Then there's office. Then there's
Right.
industrial. Then there's
Right.
land development, agricultural, infilled land. Then there's triple net deals, right? There are so many
Farm.
product types that I need to figure out all these tech tools to plug it in, to get the APIs to connect, to do it. So when people are like thinking it's one tool, our team, which I have a fabulous team, love our team. I have to give a shout out. You cannot do it. It's not me. It's our team. It's our family. All of us together,
Right.
working together collaboratively,
Right.
looking at everything, vetting everything, finding the best price for our company to put it together, share it with the rest of our global family, our realty family, every other part, so we can create this synergy, because that's our power. Is not
Right.
having this part, that part of the company being in a silo, breaking the walls, breaking the silos, working together through technology, having the right leaders in place that truly cares about each other and thinking abundance. And,
Right.
and we will win, and we will prosper. And eventually we will be that shining light that other people will be attracted to. They're going to go, wow. And I think, Larry, you and Jim see that already. You know
Right.
that already.
Right.
And that's the funny thing, that I have so much passion on this, because until you're here, you don't
Don't know.
understand what you don't know. It really is very different.
It
Let's
sounds
talk.
too good to be true, and something that sounds too good to be true in our business, you think it's puffery. And until I came over, I didn't understand this, and now I think, why can't I explain this to other people so they understand it? But we
Have them
are
have them speak to me. I'll explain it. But James, we digress. Uh, let's talk about the 800 pound or the 1200 pound gorilla. CoStar, LoopNet, BizBuySell. They want to buy Realtor.com, and obviously that has to do with a lot with commercial. Is it important to be doing business with CoStar, or are the other pieces that are already in the $250 a month package enough to sustain all the leads, all the listings that you need?
Yeah, Jim, and that's a great question. It is 250. You can get started. People say, well, if I only had this, well, if I only had that. What I had was a telephone directory and a phone and maybe a piece of pencil to write notes. That's what I had. So when you're making excuses, please, right? It's like the CRM. Best CRM is the CRM you use. The best tech is the tech you use. I don't use half the things, a quarter of the things on the cell phone. It's crazy. So yes, we have enough to get you started and moving and doing well and competitive. By making the money, CoStar for certain product types, you do need CoStar, but you may need, another type, Pierce Iceland. You may need Yardi. You may need this. You may need that. There are so many things you can need and want. But the biggest need is to need to drive to be successful, to get started and making those calls, making those contacts to create business. Or I would say the easiest, introducing yourself to the other brokers in your market, introducing to the other product type. Be proactive. Don't be reactive. Get out there in front of people, right? Because when people says only if, I already know we got a problem, right? Or you're not educated right to understand. The problem is you internally, not externally, but you want to find an excuse to blame. So, Jim, we do have enough tools with the $250 to get you started, to get you going. And usually you're senior, if you're new, they probably will have CoStar within the product type specialty. So you can work with them. They can help you out with the CRM, with the OM, the offering memorandum, going through the different financials, the debt, the capital markets, putting it all together. So it's a learning phase. When I always say in the beginning at meetings, you're going to probably just listen, absorb the meeting. Eventually you do 10%, 20%, 30%, 50%, 75%, 80, 90, 100% of the talking, and your senior's there as a safety net. And those that don't want to pay dues, I'm like, we all pay dues. Trust me, some dues we don't want to pay, but we all pay them in one way, shape, or form. So
Well, that's
it
a good
does
question
matter
because
how we have to
yeah,
pay.
the commercial brokers typically don't pay realtor dues. On the residential side, we pay realtor dues. On the commercial side, they don't. Is that correct?
Yes. Well, the dues, I mean, is just paying and working
You're
hard to
talking about the monthly 250.
the monthly 250 is what we pay, but we're not part of the MLS. We're not realtors, but I did talk to a lot of leadership. How can we work together? Because we should. And I think we're the best example of how we could collaborate with NAR, commercial organizations to be that bridge and create opportunities.
And what about the capital markets? If somebody is in EXP commercial, do they then have kind of access to investors that are looking for projects and looking to fund projects? And is it almost like crowdfunding that you can have a project and you can go into the network and find the right people to buy it?
So yes, that is what I'm definitely working because in this cycle there's an opportunity. We're not going to give the investor or the client. Come on, but you're going to find the way of who and where you can go. And
Right.
we're going to put a good pricing to maybe take off a point, 2 points. It's better than the open market because we all know the same people. And that's why the old school way, relationships, we all know where the money is or where it's not. But are you their golf buddy? Did you go to the certain school they went to? Did you do this? I mean, it's just picking up the phone. You have a better connect, you get a better financing. But through technology, there's ways we're automating crowdfunding, tokenization, right? The debt, the mezz, the entire stack. I mean, most of us were heavy finance people, so we know how to put parts of the puzzle together. Global money is different than domestic money. Global money is very interested in the US because they may not care if they're buying it at a 3 cap, 4 cap versus the domestic market. They want a 5 or 6 cap, right? So there's that delta because they have a different reason and their currency adjustment is different. So these are the things in commercial that we're really looking at is what are they looking for? What's the currency? Obviously we bring experts like international tax consultants, international attorneys to put the puzzle piece together. But this is the high level expertise and this is the opportunity for our realty agents. You don't need to know all that. You need to come to our classes and learn enough to plug in, to use our technology, just input some numbers and the results will spit out. That is my goal, is to put in whatever inputs you put in, right? Garbage in, garbage out, good information in, good information out. Put the right information, show that they're really your client, not a daisy chain. Hate that stuff. And then we can hopefully connect you to well, we always say slam a deal together.
Do we
It's
have EXP agents that are on both sides of the fence, commercial and EXP Realty?
They will most likely be in realty, because realty that do commercial is really there. Most of the people in EXP commercial, because we don't have the MLS and we're not realtors, they're just been pure commercial. Many of them, CB, JLL, NAI, SVN, all the big ones. We really never use the MLS. I know there's some in certain areas, there's commercial MLS that's valuable. So we're working through to see what we can do. But many of us never used it for the big companies. It's just that wasn't part of our toolbox.
right. James, it's just amazing to have you here. Thank you for taking so much time. Go ahead, Jim.
Yeah. Are there any questions we should have asked, James, that we didn't?
That's always a good question.
Well, you know what? I would say this, and if you watched, please follow us on EXP Commercial Explained on YouTube. There's a lot of good information. There's no one right way of commercial. Some people drop right in commercial. Some people are part of residential that loves commercial, moves in. Some people came from second careers, lawyers, MBAs, CPAs. Those are big ones. And I always say the best ones are military, entrepreneurs, and athletes. They, for some reason, thrive in commercial real estate. We have so many verticals as we're doing the transaction leasing and business op, but as we're creating the capital markets, asset facility management, valuation, there's other ways to plug in and learn. So I also say, if everyone can and interested, go to LinkedIn and like and follow EXP Commercial. We're growing all the information, what we're doing, who's coming, where we're going to be at, and come to a local event near you, near your city, that you can come and see the collaboration and what people, what agents, what teams, who are working with in your local market. It's great to be global, but it's local, right? And we got to put more events, and we are doing that this year, that you can meet up, have mixers, EXP meetings, other things you can learn about our company, but more importantly, see who you're going to be around, because those are the people. Overall, it's great that we're a global company, Jim, like you said, 24 different countries, but it's going to be local most of the time, and you're going to do business with the agents, commercial agents and residential that do commercial in your local market. So we are putting a lot more of that together, but I advise people to scan the LinkedIn or the QR code to get more information. Reach out to Jim or Larry if you have any information.
I'm
Maybe
gonna
we'll set up a meeting with me. I will always jump on for Jim and Larry. You just give me a call.
I'm
Come
gonna
to
give you a
Boston.
little more promotion. So I publish Castles magazine, which has been growing nicely. It's the highest priced properties in the EXP listing pool. Been residential. Jeffrey Daniels put some subdivisions in. He was the first commercial EXP agent on our podcast. And then this week, someone put something on in downtown Los Angeles, a building or a project for sale. So that magazine is starting to grow out commercially also. But if you have a full page ad ready, we'll put that in the magazine also, and I'll send you information on it, James. It was great to have you on the show. Larry, anything you want to add?
Just that this has been awesome. Come to Boston. We'll show you a good time. We'll introduce you to some great agents.
I love Boston. That is a great city. It's a great city.
All right. So, hey, thank you for joining us here at the Exponential Files. Jim Lowenstern, Larry Laufer, and our guest, James Huang from EXP Commercial. Tune in next week for another great show. Thank you so much.